Yee, welcome to Barstool Bench Mob presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Yeah, everyone here is happy again.
It's a winner's
Great,
podcast today.
I'll tell
great
you what,
Saturday.
we said Rico had the shit finger. Do the three of us have the gold finger? Like, we're sitting pretty.
Ever since he's been gone, it's been great. I lost one game. You came on when you lost, and now it's been unbelievable.
Right. And it was a weird loss, like a loss. I'm fine with that loss to Auburn. It wasn't like season derailing. Ty came back. Syracuse is probably going to be close to the bubble, even though the ACC sucks and should be a one-bid league.
See, shut the fuck up. We were just complimenting each other, all right? I was gonna wait till later. But yeah, I mean, Syracuse has beaten teams by 30. They've won, what, 4 in a row?
3 in a row. Florida has their best player back. Vermont hasn't lost since December. It's great.
Jake's out here tweeting videos of little buddy Boeheim and Carmelo. He's having a good Saturday.
Oh, Jake's muted, but Missouri beat Texas A&M.
Unbelievable.
And Wisconsin won. So every other person who's been on this podcast.
Yeah, no, everyone's winning.
All right, I know Wisconsin won.
Oh no,
that wasn't basketball. It was 18-13 at halftime. Like, that's Big Ten football.
Wisconsin's starting to show their true colors. They stink. We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
we'll get to that later.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we had an awesome slate yesterday. Nothing like too crazy. Like
on paper, they were great games, and they ended up being blowouts.
Yeah, a lot of them were blowouts, but like nothing too crazy happened. I think craziest thing, LSU losing to Vandy.
I think the fact that Georgia played Auburn to the buzzer.
Yeah, forgot about that. I put that out of my mind because I got a take on that too. But all right, yeah, let's just get straight into the episode.
And here we go.
All right, before we get into today's episode, I want to talk to you about High Noon Hard Seltzer. Jake, I always talk about it. Riggs, you guys tell me something about High Noon Hard Seltzer.
I know that Dave is campaigning for some more new flavors. He tweeted out.
Did you see Balls' text?
Cantaloupe.
Balls probably hasn't texted Dave since 2012, but he just said, "I want the cantaloupe."
That's a terrifying text to send. You got to be right. If Dave doesn't like your flavor, you're fucked.
It is a forgotten about fruit, though. No, the cantaloupe.
It is.
Strawberry, I think I could throw out there, but yeah, 100 calories, gluten-free, no added sugar, real vodka, real juice. We love High Noon. Keep sending your setups with your High Noons. These next 6 weeks, I think today is 5 weeks till Selection Sunday, which is amazing. Conference tournaments start in 3 weeks. I think the NEC is the first one to start. It's on February 28th.
In February, yeah.
Yeah. So we're very close. Best time of year. Remember to sign up for the Barstool Bench Mob Invitational presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Teams continue to fill up. Get your buddies together. Tuesday, March 15th in New York City.
If Big Cat, let me say something about that Bench Mob Invitational. If Big Cat calls a charge on me, I am punting the ball to the moon and flying right back to Cincinnati.
I don't think he'll call charges. Maybe he will.
He might. He's Wisconsin. Brad Davison. He probably will call a charge or two.
Yeah. But yeah, we love High Noon. Send us your pictures. And this is the best time of year. Enjoy some High Noon Hard Seltzer with it. All right. Which winner do we want to start off with?
I think we got to start Duke UNC.
Yeah, let's start with. This is my 1 week I can actually start off. I get one more game we could start to show off this year now. First of all, Duke's got Virginia Monday, Thursday. They play Monday, Thursday, Saturday this week.
The COVID.
Yeah, I know it's brutal, but hey, I've said it all year. AJ Griffin, that's it.
He's the changer.
He's the X factor. Like that's what they didn't have in the beginning of the year. He was wet from three. Paolo played okay. He didn't even play that good, and he played fine. Not mad. But AJ Griffin was unbelievable. This team is insane. How good they are. It is.
UNC sucks. The ACC stinks. It's just so hard to tell anything. UNC is bad.
UNC, bro. If I'm blanking on his name, the ugly white guy.
Brady Manick, he was really good.
If he didn't
from
play,
Oklahoma. Yeah,
they
they
would have
scored
lost
12
by
points.
47.
Yeah.
They're just not good. And I know they didn't have Dawson Garcia, but like Dawson Garcia doesn't change the outcome of that game.
I was gonna say, let me tell you, Dawson Garcia ain't doing much to figure
Right.
do anything in that game.
I think he's like an ideal guy to put on Paolo, just because like body wise, like he matches up kind of perfectly. But it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have mattered.
Baycott's supposed to be their guy. He 2 fouls early. He didn't do much. Like he was there. Mark Williams played well on him. Like you said before, Bates is getting in. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach K's grandson got in again. That's when you know UNC's a joke.
Kind of.
I mean, I will say one thing. No matter what, like Duke was up 20, like most of the game.
Yeah,
The
they got up
UNC
early.
crowd was really hyped up.
Yeah, layup to cut it from 20 to 18, they'd roar.
Like, bro, I went to the bathroom at one point and I heard a roar. I'm like, fuck, man, they making a run. They were down 18. It's like, all right, I'm still
They
fine.
probably did make a run from like 24 to 18. It was like a 6-0 run. But yeah, I still think like my takeaway is the same with Duke of they're a top, 7, 8 team in the country. But my biggest takeaway is just how bad like UNC is. Like UNC, were they projected in the bubble, or they're like right on the bubble?
Before this game, they were still in. But you look at their resume, their best win is Michigan, which isn't saying much anymore, unfortunately.
And that was at home.
That was at home. They won by 21. In the non-conference, the only semi-legitimate game, and Marty's not going to like to hear this, but Furman is another win. There's number 68 in KenPom. And besides that, in conference, it's Virginia Tech at 46 on KenPom.
Cool. Like, Virginia Tech's not that good. Yeah, like
right.
They haven't beaten anybody.
A lot of people were saying that UNC is like you are right. They really haven't beaten anybody. Saying they're not going to be a tournament team. They're going to be a tournament team. I can tell you that for a fact. They're going to win the games that they have to win in the ACC, and they're going to put them in. You just know that.
If they stay on the bubble, I agree that they'll take. I do think they take like UNC over.
Like a Boise State or Wyoming.
Boise State, right, yeah. But, like, this is the thing, though. They now have to go to Clemson on Tuesday. I think Clemson wins that game. They still have, like, Florida State, Pittsburgh, whatever games at Virginia Tech. They probably lose that game. Louisville at home, whatever game. NC State. And then their last 2 games are really the only 2 that matter outside of Clemson and Virginia Tech, maybe, where they have Syracuse and go to Duke. I mean, out of those 4 games, they're probably what?
I mean, they're not going to win at Duke at Coach K's last game. Just
that would be
brutal.
That would be amazing. Like, what if they go in and spank Duke by like 25 in K's last game?
I mean, I would be upset.
Or hit a buzzer beater. That would be unbelievable.
So, let me hear from both of you. You don't think they have what do you think about Duke before I say something?
I am like they're right on that cusp for me of I'm starting to think that them winning 6 in March is a possibility because of AJ Griffin. But I still don't trust Jeremy Roach. I still think Wendell Moore is like gonna like have some sort of regression. And then like they just don't have depth. Like we do joke about it, but the fact Bates Jones is like in the rotation, you can't feel awesome about that.
So you're right about Roach. That's just like, bro, I don't know.
The problem is you got to play one of them, right?
He
like
passes the ball.
Yeah.
That's it. Wendell Moore, like I've been waiting all year for him to be dog shit because I can't believe he's an okay player this year. And he's been unbelievable in my eyes because he was so bad last year.
He's starting to come down a little bit from how he started the year.
Like yesterday was exactly how I thought he would. He was 5-6, 13 points. Like nothing.
Right.
Crazy.
Go get 12 points. Play like decent defense.
But my big thing is that like yesterday beat the shit out of him, but it was like AJ Griffin stepped up. Like they didn't have to have Paolo do everything. Like that's where I think teams are so good. Where it's not just that Johnny Davis. It's not just Kofi. It's like AJ Hell obviously could take over. The craziest thing is I'm a little like Trevor Keels. Like I just need him to be okay and like because he's coming off the bench now because he's been hurt. And if those three are a scary three, and the fact that we have the presence down low with Mark Williams is something they usually don't have.
So that's why that's why I had Duke as like the first team I cut when I was like, okay, here are teams I think that can win a national championship. Is they do have 4 first-round picks. They have 3, if you talk the top 3 players, right, a fully healthy Keels, Griffin, Paolo, if there are any 3 in the country that are better than them, it's a short list, right? So that matters. It's just I want to see like what happens when they play a close game now.
Yes, that's the only I'm being honest. It's the Gonzaga effect this year.
That's exactly where they just beat every team by like 15. I know they played Clemson played them close.
Yeah, Clemson won by 2.
But other than that, like they really haven't been challenged, especially with the entire team there.
Yeah, no, you're right. But
which means something. Like if you're blowing bad teams out, like that matters, right? Like that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's just what happens if they like skate through the rest of the conference, win the ACC tournament relatively easy, and then, it's a Sunday in whatever, where the early slate or where the early rounds this year.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Like Greenville, where
they'll probably go there.
Right, where they're playing a NC San Francisco or something like that.
I'm legit like only like at Syracuse is something that like they only really have to worry about right now.
That
at Virginia?
Like at Virginia, sure, but like not really. Like I'm not ever scared to go to Virginia. Like Syracuse, no matter how bad you guys are,
Syracuse is going to win that game, and they're going to be on the bubble, and it's going to be so goddamn annoying.
It's right before UNC. Like it's a look ahead. It's a look ahead game.
Oh, you guys have at Pitt in between.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's just like who gives a fuck about Pitt? But yeah, that's just like the only one that's scary.
As much as I hate saying this, that's what I was impressed by with Duke, where they jumped on Carolina so fast last night.
It was
and
like,
just
bro,
stayed on it, right? Like it wasn't
how fast it was.
It was 29-8.
Boom. I know, like in the blink of it. Like we had some people over the house, and one guy was Duke fan, and he was like, "Yeah, like Carolina's always a close game." I was like, we turned around, picked up something off like the kitchen, and I was like, "This game's over."
Yeah,
like,
way over.
A minute and a half into the game.
I mean, the minute Baycott picked up 2,003 minutes, he's their best player, and he's not playing. Like
you could just tell, like Carolina doesn't. I mean, it's the second time. Like Carolina, as weird as it sounds, don't belong on the floor as Duke, Kentucky, and other blue bloods. Carolina's got to figure stuff out. Like I know it's Hubert Davis's first year. They got to figure some stuff out.
They do. Do you think that's gonna actually take do you think a lot of people aren't gonna want to go to UNC? They're still gonna want to go to UNC. Don't get me wrong, but like because of Herbert Jones as the coach now, it's a different atmosphere.
Hubert Davis.
You're gonna confuse with last year's Alabama player.
I'm never saying his name right. I don't care.
I think it's going to take, like, somebody's going to have to go there and do well. Like if he does get, let's say, like 2 McDonald's All-Americans and they're just kind of whatever players, would you, like, if you're a 5-star, would you rather go there? Would you rather go to Kentucky, Duke, Arizona, Gonzaga, where it's like, no, we're proven to have guys come in. You can be you can have an average year and still be in the lottery.
Because that's the thing with Duke, obviously, like Shire's been doing this shit already. He's putting together these teams every year, no matter what. Coach K helps, obviously, but I don't know. It's a weird time for UNC.
I think this schedule, or for Duke, I agree with UNC. I think for Duke, this is now not even 3 games this week. They have 5 games in like a 10-day stretch.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
Yeah, so if they cakewalk through all of those in a short turnaround, I'd be very impressed. I think one of these they're going to be tested.
I think that at Clemson, right? Like they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose at home to Virginia. They have Wake at home. They have Florida State at home.
Wake at home could be tough.
Yeah.
Wake's the
It's
second
just
best team right now, no?
I know, but if it was at Wake, and I know they already like won at Wake, but if that game was at Wake, I would have been like, yeah, I think that could be the one that they get caught up in. I don't know. Like, ACC is just bad.
They're gonna move up a lot on Monday, by the way.
So they moved up, 3 spots in Ken Palm, and I was looking at the net today. I think they moved up 1 in the net.
Yeah, they'll probably move to like, 4 or 5?
I was gonna say 5.
Yeah, but congrats, Marty. This is big for you.
Oh man.
Let me ask you this. Do you think – let me ask both of you guys this. 2 questions. It's a similar one. Do you think Duke will be a 1 seed or can be a 1 seed? And if it was right now, who are your 4 1 seeds?
Yes.
Yes.
Oof. Gonzaga, Arizona, Kentucky, Duke, or Purdue? Oh, Auburn. I forgot Auburn. Sorry.
Auburn. Yeah.
Why is I'm looking off Ken Palm right now. Auburn's number 8. That's why I didn't even consider them.
That's
what.
Okay. That's my hate.
Me.
This is my hate. This episode because I saw 8. I'm like, what's going on?
Okay. So let me revise. Right now, it's Auburn, Gonzaga, Arizona, Kentucky, and Duke's just right behind.
You think Arizona?
I mean, there's a for sure path for Arizona to be 1 seed.
For sure. I'm not saying there's an argument. 1,000%. They just beat UCLA and USC.
Yeah.
And also UCLA is a fraud. We'll get to that. But
Arizona's also
Arizona
2 now. Yeah, I mean they're 2 in net and metric and Ken Palm. I'm pulling up their full schedule here. Let's see if I have their.
Yeah, Arizona has wins over Illinois, UCLA, USC.
Illinois is carrying a lot of weight.
At Illinois.
Yeah.
They don't have much. They have an easy schedule too, pretty much.
I tweeted. We'll get to the Pac-12 in a little bit, but I tweeted that they don't have USC anymore. I think they have a makeup game that has been rescheduled.
Yeah, it's currently listed as postponed.
The only team that they have to worry about, right? They have at Washington State and
at Washington State and Oregon.
And
then
at Colorado, they'll lose at Colorado.
At Colorado and Utah, that's always a weird trip. Just somebody always loses there.
Yep.
Yeah, but Mark, do you agree with those 4 right now? Or you think Duke?
I think I really think Duke goes before Arizona.
It's debatable.
Yeah, I think Arizona. Yeah, so because I was talking about it with somebody yesterday, I think we're at the point of the year where there are 2 locks for 1 seeds. I think we can say Gonzaga and Auburn are going to be 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Right? Like unless something drastic happens. And then it's really a race between 6, 7 teams for 2 spots?
Right. Like if Baylor or Kansas run the table.
That's
Big 12.
That was my debate with somebody was I kind of think 1 spot's reserved for one of them.
Or if Illinois or Purdue run the table in the Big 10.
I now think Illinois might have a chance.
Well, Tuesday, Illinois at
Purdue.
Purdue.
Fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Kofi's so good.
Yeah. All right. So that's Duke UNC in the 1 seed talk. Reegs, now we'll move over to you. Oh, yeah. Also, sorry. One more thing. I realize people tweeted at me this has been a thing. Coach K just never does the halftime interviews.
Yeah.
He's above the media.
Yeah, of course he is.
That's absurd.
No, it's not.
He thinks he's better than the game. He thinks he's bigger than the game. He's hijacking everything.
He'll
do media when he's upset. He'll do media when he wants to yell at someone.
I have idiots on this show because listen to me, Coach K. Do you think he has time to talk to the halftime right now when he has to go into the locker room and formulate a plan? Like, do you think this is just normal shit he does?
357 head coaches would do the halftime interview. 1 does not.
Yeah, and who's the best one?
Doesn't matter. Why does he think he's above everybody else?
He doesn't think he's above.
John Wooden did it. John Wooden would do it.
Actually, if anything, he's giving his assistants more camera time for more jobs.
Nope.
Why do you think
He's
all
letting
his
his
assistants have jobs?
just like in 1994, 95, he's letting his assistants take the fall when they don't play well. He's making them. He's out here holding his back.
20 at halftime, and they're up 20 at halftime, and John Shire is doing an interview.
Yeah.
Kay was probably too busy going to UNC's locker room congratulating them and shit like he typically does.
All I'm
Yeah.
saying is, you want more camera time as an assistant, you go to Duke.
Seriously.
Yeah, because K won't take any responsibility. That's the only thing. That's just like his grandson. His grandson learned it from him. They take no responsibility.
Yeah. So that was crazy. I tweeted that, and people are like, "Bro, he's done that for 10 years."
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I did not know that.
He just straight up refuses to do it. I don't understand how he's the only one just to be like, no, I'm not doing it.
It's like Belichick in Madden, right? He's the only one who's not in the game.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They just don't put him in the game. His face, I don't know. All right. So Kentucky, number 5, Kentucky 66, Alabama 55. We go back and forth with Alabama. It's a roller coaster ride. But 55 points is something else. What was it? 3 of 30 from 3?
3 of 29, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But look, 30, I said in the last episode, the Ole Miss game is more important on the road than this game. They have enough quality wins.
And Reese, you can go soon, but like Kentucky didn't play that well. Like that's like they didn't play how Kentucky could even play up to the potential. And Alabama, like in the beginning, Alabama was kind of winning a little bit, going back and forth. But bro, they couldn't hit shit at all, and that's a problem when like we said that before. Quinterly and Shackelford can't do anything. It's over. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, their best player was their big guy, Bediako.
Yeah,
like that's not a recipe for Alabama to win a game.
No, not at all.
Like, so Alabama jumped out to what? It was like 6-1, something like that early. And I was like,
9-1.
Yeah, 9-1. I was like, all right, here we go. Like, it's just going to be one of those Saturday road games where, you know, we're going to have to figure it out, or we're just pack up, don't get hurt, get on to the next, whatever. And then, like, I felt like Alabama's threes were okay looks. It's not like they were missing wide open threes. And Ty, this, I mean, I love this team. I love this Kentucky team. They just find ways to win. It's like they didn't play well, and they won on the road by 11.
Well, let's relax. They went 3 of 30 from 3.
That's defense. Duke should learn it.
But, bro, Keon Ellis missed so many threes early on, and then
2 for 7.
He just wasn't there, and dude, J.D. Davidson was like they honestly, there's not much to say about the game. They fucking sucked. It was an awful. It wasn't even a fun game to really watch.
No, it was just an ugly game. Like a lot of missed threes, a lot of turnovers. But I think like Kentucky, to me, it showed like Kentucky can win. Now they had their 3-game stretch of Saturdays in a row at Auburn, at Kansas, at Alabama. They won, I would say, 2 of them 2 different ways. They can play fast and beat you with offense like they did at Kansas. And I think yesterday they showed like, hey, we have no problem playing like a mucked up game. And I think it was a very balanced game by Kentucky too, right? Like they had 4 guys in double digits. Ty led the way with 15. It's not like somebody went out, like it wasn't a Keon Brooks at Kansas. It was, no, we're just going to run our stuff and we're better than you, so we're going to win.
What did Rico text us before the game? Didn't he text us a whole fucking pump up?
Oh, it was something about like Alabama.
He's like, this is how we get going, boys, or something.
I did not even watch it, to be honest.
You think I watched it?
Yeah. Let's see.
I got he was I sent him a picture of John Calipari after the game, and he just said, "Holy Christ." That's all he said.
Yeah, the cat was hopping on him too. He said he wants Rico to love everyone on this podcast as much as he loves natives.
I thought about getting I didn't have one. I was going to just get a white shirt and just take a Sharpie on it and write NITOs today and just wear it on the podcast.
So, are they a tournament team right
now? I think they're still
are
a lock for the tournament.
But now they're like capped. I don't think they can be like higher than a 5 seed.
So like you're saying lock.
Unless they lose out.
So.
Like losing to Kentucky doesn't change anything, obviously.
Right. Unless they lose like 2 out of 3 to Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina.
Like, bro, they have a tough
at Ole Miss is a weird place.
Arkansas going there is obviously not easy. They're hot as fuck right now.
They got to go to Kentucky still. They got to go to LSU still.
Right now, they would be safely in.
Yeah, I think they'd be like a 6 seed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are safely in, but it's so like weird. Like they shouldn't be, but they are because if you just obviously you take their wins away, and you're like, holy Jesus! Look at
Like if I just told you a team that's 14-9 and 4-6 in conference is going to be like a 5-6 seed, you're like, no,
yeah,
that's just
4 and
physically
6 in
not
conference,
right.
14-9. They're not making the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like if I told you that without saying like the name, who
Yeah,
they beat, anything,
Don't
you're
tell me
like,
they
no.
beat Baylor, Houston, Gonzaga, and fucking who else they beat?
LSU, Tennessee,
Miami,
yeah,
Crazy.
Tennessee, yeah, Florida. And then, if I told you a team 14-9, 4-6 in conference with losses to Iona, Memphis, Davidson, Missouri, Georgia.
But we did say they play up to their potential. Blah blah blah. They also
That was the weird
don't,
thing about yesterday.
because
They
they played Auburn and Kentucky,
Right.
and they just did not. So,
Right. And like at home. That's the one place that they should have came like.
yeah, like Auburn out pass whatever,
Right, yeah.
and at home against Kentucky, you gotta. I don't know. I'm not obviously very high on fucking.
No, like I'm starting to. I thought Alabama could be a sneaky team that like even as a 6 seed get hot and make it to the second weekend. But now I'm like, I think they're gonna lose like the 11th seed.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
it's crazy. 55
I just don't
points.
think I don't think Oates knows like who the hell to play. Like not saying like he doesn't know.
I think you admitted that too.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I know you're not even saying like coaching wise. I think like because I even when I'm watching, like they're confusing. It's a confusing rotation, if that makes sense. It doesn't like, and like I've said it every time. J.D. Davidson's the most confusing player in the country as well because it's just like he comes off the bench, but he can have a spark, but he also sucks sometimes. So I don't know.
right. And then they move Cornerly to the bench, and you're like, he plays well in that first game off the bench. You're like, well, this guy was supposed to be like a potential All-American, SEC Player of the Year, and like you're not doing that if he's a 6-man all of a sudden.
I just want them to make. They're going to make it probably, but I just want them to make it just because of the question mark of okay, they can make the Final Four or get bounced in the first round. I want to see that unfold.
Me too.
That's the one. That is the beauty and the worst thing about the NCAA tournament. It's like if they do get hot, everyone be like, "Oh, look at Alabama, good year." It's like no, they sucked and they got hot, like because they were the most confusing team in the country.
Could you imagine Rico if they made a Final Four run?
No, I can't.
And they'd be in New Orleans. Alabama would win if they make it. If they make the Final Four, Alabama's winning the national title. They're not losing in New Orleans.
No.
All the stuff you would give back to us and mostly Big Cat for talking trash the whole season. That would
at least we'd have good. We'd have good merch.
Yeah, it would be good for the podcast. Yeah. So that's the other big game, and then this one, I don't know how much time we need to spend on it either. Kansas 83, Baylor 59. We had our Twitter Spaces in the morning. We had the Barstool Baylor Viceroy. He said it would be a blowout. He was right. Just in the wrong direction. Kansas was not losing this game. No shot after what Kentucky did to them on their home floor.
Yeah, it's hard to take anything away from it. Like Baylor wasn't at full strength. They didn't have LJ Crichton play in the game.
Yeah.
And the fact, like you said, like that game being at Kansas, like if Kansas went to Baylor and won, I'd be like willing to have a completely different conversation. But they weren't losing back-to-back marquee games at Fog Allen. Like they haven't lost back-to-back games at Fog Allen since like 1983 or something like that.
That's crazy.
Brown was fucking awesome. I like saw some article this weekend too, like everyone saying how nice he is as a person, and once he steps on the court, he's a complete asshole.
Oh yeah, in the athletic hat or something like that. But
So, I love that though. Like I love when someone's nice off the court, and then they're just a dickhead on the court.
I forget what game it was. There was a game I was watching earlier this year. It was in conference. I think when they played, they might have been when they were at Texas Tech. And he hit a 3 in the corner and just immediately started shit talking like the fans. Yeah, I was like, like this is what I want. Like, let's be honest, he's kind of like a goofy looking white kid that is at Kansas. Really good player. He throws down some ridiculous dunks when he's in the open court. And if he's shit talking fans, I'm like, I'm gonna fall in love with this guy, whether he likes it or not.
Riggs, I know you're obviously a Kentucky guy. Do we think there's a possibility that game was a fluke and it was just they fell flat?
I don't think Kentucky is like blowout better than Kansas,
No.
right? Like I think if we're saying Kentucky is like tier 1B, I think Kansas is tier 2. Like it's not, and it's not like a massive jump from one to the other. Like I like this Kansas team. The only thing I don't like, what worries me about Kansas is defensively they're not great, right? Like we've seen it. Obviously, they play Baylor well, but like over the course of the season, their defense isn't great. And like Self still just tries to get the ball to David McCormick in the post. It's like, dude, like you got to figure something else out because that's not offense in 2022.
And then with Baylor, I agree.
I'm seriously not like crazy impressed. Like I know this is a bad game to look at, but like I'm not crazy impressed with Baylor. I know they're good. I'm saying as an elite team.
They need to get healthy.
Yeah, that's the problem as well, being healthy.
Right.
That, and then I think they need Kendall Brown to really make a jump.
They've had from a Big 12 perspective, they've had a pretty favorable schedule so far.
Yeah.
They still have Texas, Texas Tech, Kansas, Texas again.
Jesus Christ.
And
Iowa State is so ridiculous.
Yeah, but their wins in conference so far, you could argue they haven't beaten a tournament team yet. I mean, maybe Iowa State.
Right? Yeah, maybe at TCU.
Yeah, and they lost this weekend.
West Virginia's currently out. Oklahoma's currently out. Kansas State's probably currently out. Yeah, so I mean,
Jesus, they've had a very favorable one.
Yeah. So they swept West Virginia, then Oklahoma, Kansas State, and TCU. They swept Oklahoma too. So yeah,
who do you think wins that conference now? Since that's a real round robin conference, everyone plays everybody. Who do you take to win it with 8 games left between Texas Tech, Kansas, and Baylor?
Regular season.
Regular season, because they do play it like doesn't matter. Like it's not an unbound schedule. They're all playing the same teams the same amount.
I still think it's Kansas.
I
like their schedule too.
So they got a 2-game lead right now.
Baylor's 7-3 with 4 road games, 4 home games. Kansas is
8-1.
8-1 with 5 home games, 4 road games. And Texas Tech is 7-3 with 4 home games, 4 away games. So pretty similar home and away splits.
Kansas doesn't really. I mean, it's just Texas and fucking
Texas twice and an at Baylor.
Yeah. What a conference, though. Jesus Christ.
I know. But it's crazy like how open this year is, and the regular season champs from the major conferences are basically who we expected. Big East, obviously a little different, but you're going to have likely Kansas, Auburn, Duke, and Arizona or UCLA. Like
also
no real surprises out of those 4 conferences.
We talked about like 2 weeks ago how we said every team in the Big 12 has a chance to make the tournament. Now it's not really looking like the case.
It's starting to separate a little bit.
Oklahoma is falling off. West Virginia is falling off. Iowa State should still make it, but they're falling off.
Yeah.
Kansas State and TCU, maybe TCU gets in. But besides that, okay, it's Kansas, Baylor, Texas Tech.
It's coming to how they really are.
There's 4 locks right now. And then after that, maybe 1 or 2 more.
I was going to say 9 eligible teams from the Big 10 or from the Big 12, right? What line would you set? Like 5? Would you set 5.5 or 6.5? And are you taking over under?
Under 6.5 for sure. I don't think all of TCU, Iowa State, I guess 3 out of 4, Oklahoma and West Virginia would have to get in. I think it's probably 6.
I think you're putting it down. I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, they could
last in the conference, but like they still they're not in right now for sure. But
all it takes is a win against Kansas or
Baylor
like that's or Texas Tech.
They're one of those fluke games gets them in.
Wow. I can't. West Virginia hasn't won since January 11th. That's crazy. They lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Poor Huggy.
Got to bring in the doppelganger, let him coach.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Baylor, Kansas. I mean, a blowout from all perspectives. Let's talk Pac-12, but before we do, a brief word from Bare Bottom Clothing. I packed for LA. I'm leaving right after this recording, and I have tons of bare bottom in my luggage. Make getting dressed the easiest part of your day with bare bottom. They're made for comfort essentials. Make picking out of your clothes a no-brainer. Try on any of their joggers, shorts, or tees, and you'll immediately understand why so many guys have made bare bottom a staple of their closet. Sold exclusively through their own site. You're going right to the source for premium threads without the premium price. For each item you purchase, a school lunch is donated to a child in need. Over 700,000 meals have already been donated. Marty, you were on the couch all day. I know you were wearing your joggers and your hoodies of bare bottom.
I was. The joggers are unbelievable. I've asked for like 4 different packages from them because they're a great sponsor. But if you want to watch sports, put them on. You want to go for a run, put them on. And I also wear them to the club, so it doesn't matter. You can wear a sweatshirt out. They're the best, comfortable. I would definitely suggest some bare bottom.
Yeah, so check out their latest styles at barebottomclothing.com/bench and get free shipping on your first purchase. That's barebottomclothing.com/bench. All right, Pac-12 time. I know people complain sometimes we don't give them enough credit. Well, there's a lot to talk about with the Pac-12. Do we want to talk with the spitting, the upset, or Arizona being really good? Because we can unpack from there.
Listen, you can't spit on people. You just can't spit on people.
Bro, it's like, how do you not know that still? Like, stop spitting on people. It's one of the worst things you looks. The guy could say he wants to kill your mother. You still can't spit.
Like, I know Jake's the only one on this podcast that's been in a bar fight before.
Yeah.
But even he knows the rules. Like, you don't spit on people in a bar fight. Like, imagine someone coming up to you in the middle of like throwing punches and like rough and rowdy. You don't spit on people rough and rowdy.
No, you can't.
You just can't. Like,
do we have an update on Mac Etienne? I know we got arrested in the arena.
I know. That's the last thing I saw. I think UCLA put out a statement like,
what'd you say?
You got
he got
arrested
arrested in the arena.
I didn't know he got arrested.
Yeah, so it's like he wasn't put in handcuffs. The University of Arizona police waited for him to get back to the locker room and then went in and arrested him. It's essentially like an upgraded version of a parking ticket.
Yeah, like
where
it's not an actual arrest.
It's like 4th degree.
It's the connotation of the word arrested.
Yeah,
But
they use arrested. They the police use the word arrested, which
that is amazing.
And like as far as I know, they were coming out with like their investigation or whatever, and I don't think anything was said that crossed the line. In which case, by all means, go ahead. Like there was no racist, wasn't a racist overtone or anything like that. So
he was just upset.
Yeah, because he did it at halftime and the end of the game. Like you can't like spit twice. He did it twice. He spit twice.
I didn't see this twice. I just saw one video. Oh my god.
Yeah. Apparently he spit twice.
And he doesn't really play, right?
He's hurt. He's injured.
Yeah, that's not good. You can't be the guy on the bench spitting.
No. You can't be hurt. Like you just gotta. What does it matter? You're just sitting there. Just sit there and like.
Yeah, like honestly, your team loses when you're hurt. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like congrats. You split like with Arizona.
Yeah.
Which, spitting aside, Arizona UCLA needs to be a rivalry again.
Yeah, that game Thursday night. It was Arizona. I mean, we'll just talk about Arizona because that was a good game against USC. I think they finished on like a 19-3 run. It was tight for the majority of it, 18-3 run. But I think they're back to being the overwhelming favorites, right? I don't know about overwhelming, but if the season ended today, we're taking them. No.
Yeah, they got a 2-game lead over UCLA and Oregon. 3-game lead over USC. Yeah.
To be honest, my question is USC good?
I can't figure them out. Like they're a little bit like Alabama, where I think they're good, but
I mean,
they haven't
pretty weak
anything.
Non-conference.
Right, they haven't done anything. Their best wins probably either at Washington State or a neutral against San Diego State. They got swept by Stanford, lost at home to Oregon, lost at Arizona.
Bro, they have no good wins. I don't care what you say. They're not a top I thought they were way better wins than that. They just got the 19-4 next to them.
Right. I mean, they
They're
have
good
two with
defensively.
UCLA.
I will say, like, they are good defensively, but they're another team similar to Alabama where they're going to be like a 5-6 seed, and it's like, do they get up when they play that mid-major that ends up, getting in as one of the last teams in?
I think they're going to be a team, like you just said, 5-6. Everyone's going to say that, see their record, like also think about last year of how they did well when no one even talked about them, and they're going to lose early.
Yeah, they don't have Evan Mobley this year. And I know Isaiah Mobley's been good, but Evan Mobley was
and a lot of people are like, oh, they still got one of those Mobleys? All right.
I would love for them to be a 5 seed and draw number 12 Vermont. That would be a great draw.
You think with all the size USC has, that would be good for Vermont?
I mean, the way Vermont's been scoring.
Oh, God.
I know. Marty hates this talk. Vermont scored at least 80 points in all but one conference game. But anyways. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. I mean, USC. I don't know.
Like, they're fine. Like, they're I think they're a top 25 team, but it's like for sure the back end, and you can talk me out of them very easily.
Right. Also, I don't know why they have a home game against Pacific on Tuesday. That's random.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it might be a COVID makeup. I don't know, but yeah.
Like, why would you even make that up for either side? I mean, I'm sure Pacific is getting money,
right?
But
so Arizona, we agree, is in front. USC is meh, and then UCLA
frauds.
Back-to-back losses for the first time this season. Triple overtime to Arizona State. That was crazy.
Arizona State was trying to lose that game as well. They are. Come on, man. They're so bad. I can't believe they beat you. Like,
I think Bobby Hurley's confused and it's like legit trying to tank for like 5 stars.
Yeah. No,
I think he thinks it's the NBA.
Bro, that was so bad. They're so bad. And UCLA is coming to fruition of like they are frauds. Like, because losing to who they just lose to? Arizona. Like, sure, no one's gonna say they lost Arizona, but Arizona State, Jesus Christ, that was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been screaming that they were frauds from the beginning of the year because everyone falls. Happens every year in college basketball. Team makes a run, brings back a bunch of people. Everyone falls in love with them in the preseason. There were a reason they were the 11th seed last year in the first 4. They just got. Johnny Juzang got really hot in the NCAA tournament. And, like, their offense was basically just, like, Johnny Juzang and Jaime Jaquez, like, please bail us out late in the shot clock.
And Jake, haven't I been saying the same thing?
You've been saying that all season. Yeah, I agree with it.
All season. They're playing in a kind of weak Pac-12 where it's like Arizona is obviously really good, but USC we've seen is okay, and
like there are 3 locks for the NCAA tournament, and then Oregon.
Yeah, it's not anything crazy. It is funny to see that, like, Jaquez, Juzang, and Campbell all played 50 minutes. That's so many minutes.
51, 50, 50. And, like, even, like, everyone else, 38, 36, and then, like, Miles Johnson played 17.
Yeah, it's like, it's so many minutes.
Yeah, it's like St. Bonaventure. Marty, remember, like, 2 weeks ago, they had a double overtime game. It was, like, 50, 50, 50, 49, 48, 2-1. Yep. Yeah, insane. So yeah, that's the Pac-12. Arizona in the driver's seat right now, and not too deep of a conference, so one of these teams can certainly get on a roll. Number 12 Villanova 85, number 17 UConn 74. Dan Hurley came on our show 2 weeks ago. He's like, hey, no technicals yet, but it's coming. He knew it was coming, and he was right. Frustrating day for the Huskies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they lost to Creighton at home before that. I was talking, like, I told Jack Mac, because he was like, yeah, UConn might just stink. And I was like, no, like, the next 5 games is what we'll know about UConn. They go
Tuesday's
home to Marquette. Yeah, home to Marquette, at Xavier, at St. John's, home to Seton Hall, home to Xavier. If they go 2-3 in that stretch, I think they might stink. If they go 3-2,
I don't think they stink. I really don't. I think obviously Villanova at home's gonna be tough no matter what.
Perfect bounce back spot.
Did Gillespie get hurt?
Yeah, they said he was getting X-rays. I was just looking that up.
Because he was on the bench at the end of the game. Like, he wasn't.
He
in
went back to the
room or
locker
anything.
room and then came back to the bench.
But
It looked nasty, but ankles, it could be anything from, anyone who's walked knows what a rolled ankle feels like. Just not fun.
Yeah,
Right.
but I agree with Reeves that it's the upcoming games where you'll know if they're good or not, because those two games are not I'm still in on UConn. I don't think, not a national championship, but I still think they're like a good team.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, those 5-6 seeds this year, this is another one. They're going to be really interesting, where we could see a lot of upsets from the 11-12 line, or we could see a 6 seed in the Elite Eight.
Yep.
That's fair. Also, Villanova did this without Justin Moore.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Yeah, that's what was impressive. I talk a lot of shit about Villanova, but that was very impressive.
Because they don't have it's not like they have a bench either.
No,
Marty,
I have made that
Marty's
clear.
been hammering that down. Chris Arcidiacono played 26 minutes yesterday.
That's when you have a problem.
Gus Johnson gets so excited whenever Chris Arcidiacono's in the game, just so he can talk about Ryan Arcidiacono.
Of course. Easy talk.
That's all Gus Johnson wanted to do yesterday. He was in the game.
Yeah. So Villanova now double-digit wins in the Big East. So it'll probably turn it into a two-way race now, right? Marquette can maybe get hot. They're 8-4.
Oh, I think no, you're incorrect. It's a 3-team race. It's technically a 3-team race, but Villanova's the third team by far.
With Marquette and Providence?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at record. 10-3,
Right.
8-4.
Yeah, but they have Providence is likely going to win because they're not making up those 3 COVID games.
Oh, really?
As far as I know, I don't think they're making up 3 conference. So it's going to be a
They shouldn't
win percentage. Yeah, right. It's not like they need to.
Right. And we're recording this before Providence at Georgetown. So this is assuming they take care of business today.
And Marquette's only a game behind Nova, but Marquette has the tiebreaker, sweeping Nova.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, it is a 3-team
race. It's a
race.
3-team race, but that tiebreaker makes me kind of think Nova could be the third team.
Right. Which is crazy, but Providence, I mean, who would have thought? Could Providence be like a 2 seed if they...
What the fuck? And they'll lose to a fucking 15.
A 2 seed just winning by 1 point every game.
Yeah, I would love that. Cool. Coach Cooley's still number 48 on KenPom. That's insane.
That's so mean.
Providence has lost 2 games and they're number 48. Alabama's lost 9 games and they're 30 spots higher at 19.
But
29 spots higher.
The 2 games Providence has lost have been by 18 and 32.
They know how to lose.
When they lose, they get it all out.
Yeah, we're not going to be close here.
And 3 of their next 4 against Georgetown, DePaul, and Butler. Like, they can keep winning these
Providence
games.
is going to win. Providence is going to win the Big East.
Yeah, it's really looking that way, which is awesome for Coach Cooley, the big dog.
It'll set up for a fun Big East tournament too.
Oh yeah,
with if Nova ends up as the 2 or 3.
100%. So yeah, shout out Coach Cooley, then Villanova with a nice win without one of their best players.
Seton Hall was a must-win, by the way, and they beat the fuck out of Creighton.
Friday night.
Did you see their jerseys on Friday night?
Yeah.
Those were unbelievable.
Yep, I agree. That was a must-win, though. They needed that so bad.
They needed that.
Did you guys know? Did you know that Aiken is 26 years old?
Yeah, he's played 7 years because he's gotten hurt every year.
I thought it was one of those jokes like Charlie Moore, like he's 23. 26.
Yeah, he played in Harvard for 4 seasons.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
The best is still Jalen Coleman. Jalen Coleman lands. It's 25.
Right.
Aiken's 25. Yeah.
Yeah, poor Bryce Aiken. Yeah, he was born December 14th, 96. I'm only a year older than him, and I've been out of college for almost 4 years.
He started college in the same class as Bam Adebayo, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, he's older. He's older than most of the NBA.
He's probably older than he's as old as Devin Booker.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Devin Booker I feel like is a veteran. He's a veteran in the NBA.
Sounds like third contract.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little Big Ten before love, hate, and beating the buzzer. So,
yeah, Devin Booker's 25.
Insane. And Bryce Aiken's still chugging along. Our guy Carl. Shout out to Carl. Illinois beats Indiana in Bloomington, and he got the VIP treatment. Post-game shout out from Brad Underwood. Insane.
So I knew
so cool.
he had texted me earlier in the week that he was going to Bloomington, like on the private jet and everything. He did not tell me that he was going to be like in the locker room.
Who is he going this game with?
His friend is one of the biggest boosters at Illinois.
Damn it! I need one of those at 2.
Oh, like can we get? How do we get friends like that?
Dude, when I saw the video from, I thought he just took it from someone on the team. Like I was like, oh,
they shouted him out.
And then he's like, yeah, there's Barstool Carl, and everyone's laughing at it.
And then there's a picture of like Underwood kissing him.
Kissing him.
Kissing him. Carl. Like Carl.
Carl's literally a coach on the bench now. I wouldn't surprise me at all.
Imagine.
And Carl, he'd still be wearing his fucking Illinois baseball jersey.
Yeah.
Illinois
and holding a Miller Lite on the bench.
Yeah.
Picks up one of its biggest wins of the season, and one of the first things the head coach says in the locker room, hey, there's Barstool Carl in the back. Everyone say hello.
But Jake, I said it before the game too. Like that would really impress me. Like if they lost Indiana, I wouldn't bat an eye, but that would really impress me winning at Indiana, and they won in like
the way they did it. Yeah,
beat the shit out of them.
It's not like they play well. And I know Trace Jackson Davis was in foul trouble the first half, but like Kofi sucked the first half.
Yeah, he had 5 points.
Yeah, and he played 17 of the 20 minutes, I think. So it's not like he was in foul trouble or anything. But then they come out and just beat the shit out of him in the second half on the road. I
talked a lot of shit about Illinois last year. I know it might sound crazy. I like them more this year. I like them more without Io because Io was the only he was too much of the focus. Now they have Frazier, who I love. I mean,
love Frazier.
I love Frazier.
23.
Carmelo is he still works his way back. Like they have a lot of pieces.
Plummer's an unbelievable shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. They're a scary team. And Tuesday night, we'll talk on this game quickly too. Illinois at Purdue. Michigan hung tough with Purdue for the majority, but someone get Hunter Dickinson some help. He was so good. That was a great loss by Michigan.
That was a prime look-ahead spot too. Like if you're looking like betting-wise and numbers-wise, like Michigan was catching 9, I think, 8.5. Yeah. That was a prime look-ahead spot for Purdue with Illinois coming.
Hunter Dickinson can shoot too. He made a couple of threes.
He's so good, but it sucks that they're completely
they're done. They're
done.
Yeah, we got to cross them off the list. It's win the Big Ten tournament or nothing now.
Yeah,
I actually was hoping they won so we could still talk about them, but they're just out.
Right. I mean, they're 11-9, 5-5 in the Big Ten, but Purdue 20-3. They're them and Auburn, the only teams with 20 wins. Oh no, South Dakota State and Murray State. No, Gonzaga's 19-2.
Or 19.
But yeah, Tuesday night, Illinois. If Illinois wins that game at Purdue, oh my.
We got to talk about Illinois completely different if they win that game.
Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin won at Purdue. Like it's possible.
Yeah, but now like that was also early in the year, right? And we're like, oh shit, like maybe Wisconsin's better, and like we'll talk about Wisconsin then, but. If Illinois wins now, with when we can look at the entire resume, I think we got to talk about Illinois way differently.
1,000% we do. You know what also was funny yesterday? You're just because obviously there's so many games on. You can't watch all of them.
151 games yesterday.
Yeah, you watch the biggest ones, and you're just scrolling your phone to look to see some things. Rutgers beat Michigan State by 20. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't buying the Michigan State hype as when they were ranked 10th in the country, 11th in the country. I'm like, no, they're probably more 20, 25. You don't
the power of the rack.
I know you can win weird games there. You don't go to Rutgers and lose by 100.
But I tell you right now that with knowing nothing else, Rutgers beats Purdue and Michigan State. You're like, this team's fucking unbelievable.
Right.
Then they lost to Lafayette.
Yeah, I know it's they're not in the tournament, but those are 2 really good wins. And they still have Wisconsin at home and who else?
Rutgers has Illinois at home, Ohio State at home, Wisconsin at home.
What if they win 4 of those? They're the bizarro Alabama.
They're 13-9. They're 7-5 in the Big Ten. If they can go
oh, they're not definitely out of it at all.
No, yeah, they're not. If they win 3 of those home games, which I know is asking a lot, but you win 3 of those.
2 really good wins.
But
yeah,
those 3 early losses in a row to DePaul, Lafayette, and UMass.
UMass
not great.
Brutal.
Not great.
Lafayette's 3-16 in KenPom. They're 7-14 overall. They've lost to Sacred Heart, NJIT, Holy Cross, Loyola, Maryland.
You can't lose NJIT.
You can't lose. What are they? They're the what's NJIT? They're not the Raiders.
The Highlanders.
Highlanders. That's it. Yep.
The America East. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that loss could be it for them, but they still have plenty of opportunities. They're at Purdue too, so, and at Indiana. So yeah, Rutgers.
Fuck it. I want Rutgers to make the NCAA tournament. I said it. I want Rutgers to win out. It'd be hilarious.
They should have been in the Sweet 16.
They should have, but I'm all in on this. Last year's Rutgers team, and I know it's basically the same with Gio and Ron Harper, but for whatever reason, I think this Rutgers team making a run, like I want Rutgers to win the Big Ten tournament. I want Rutgers to be like somehow still like a 10 seed. I'm all in on Steve Michael and Rutgers.
Yeah. Marty, should we just say it?
Yes.
February 26th, live show, Wisconsin at Rutgers.
So I thought about this. I'm like, and there's no disrespect to what I'm about to say to these schools, but we picked these live shows. I ended up going in the span of 6 days, maybe the 3 worst places in America. I'm going to West Virginia, Daytona in Florida, which is, Daytona 500 is fun, but that's not great over there. And then Iowa.
Daytona in February. Not even Daytona in like July.
February, and then I'm going to Iowa because we're doing Iowa live show, which I'm actually really excited to go to Iowa.
I've always wanted to go there. I heard that's a fun place.
I heard it's great. And I mean, like, I do like those schools like West Virginia, Iowa, where it's like all they have is that. That's it. There's nothing else. It's corn and fucking Iowa basketball and Iowa football. That's it.
I've had to take 2 tow trucks in my life from West Virginia to Pennsylvania, where I grew up, because my car broke down driving home from college twice when I stopped at West Virginia for the night. I literally can't survive West Virginia. Bro, it's 2007. I had to call my mom and dad and be like, hey, my car's dead again. Like, my one car literally I had to get rid of my first ever car. It blew up on the side of the road.
Nice.
The second one, it was like a nasty snowstorm. My engine went out. Literally, the same tow truck driver picked me up 3.5 hours through West Virginia and into Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so it'll be Tuesday, February 22nd, Michigan State at Iowa. Saturday, February 26th, Wisconsin at Rutgers. Going to be a lot of fun. All those teams.
Wait, did you say you're going to Purdue too?
No.
Oh, okay.
If I did, I misspoke. But yeah, get excited. That's a couple of weeks away. All right, let's wrap up the show with our segments, Love, Hate, and Beating the Buzzer. But before we do that, we want to remind you about Sling TV. Go to sling.com/barstool to get signed up now and get your first month starting at $10. If you love watching live sports, but you're tired of the high prices, it's time to take control of your TV experience. It's time you get Sling. Sling is the place where your favorite sports channels like ESPN, FS1, TNT, and more come together for less. And it's the cheapest way to watch college hoops, the NBA playoffs, the entire Formula One season, and more. Plus, watch past episodes of the Barstool Bench Mob, the Yak, Stool Streams, and exclusive new Barstool content for free on the Barstool Sports channel, exclusively on Sling. Sling is easy to set up, easy to use, and there's no contract, starting at just $35 a month. Sign up now and try it absolutely free for 3 days. Whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find the live sports you love all in one place. Go to sling.com/barstool to sign up now and try it free. I've watched a lot of college basketball in Sling. I know they have the Pac-12 network. I know it's hard to find a lot of places.
That
not
is
on Sling
huge
TV.
right there, bro. Sling,
they're like the only people to have it.
Yeah.
It's worth having Sling just for that.
Yeah, the Pac-12 network is awesome. So hard to find, not on Sling. Get Sling right now. All right, love, hate, and being the buzzer. We'll start with Marty. Marty, you have a love lined up?
Yeah, first of all, I love Bruce Pearl. So Patrick Young was talking on a broadcast, like on the SEC network after the game, and Bruce Pearl's on the line waiting, and he goes, "Yeah, well, Georgia should have won this game." and you could see Bruce Pearl. He's like trying to interrupt. He's like his mouth is moving, but it's no words are coming out because he's so mad. He's like, I think Auburn should have won that game. Hard environment, free throws, blah blah. How can you say Georgia should have won that game? Like
They had it and they missed the free throws in the
But-
end.
Yeah,
They
Georgia
were-
stinks.
Auburn was winning for 29 minutes of the game. Like there were so many times Auburn was winning, and like obviously you can't say Georgia should have won. Like, yeah, they could have won. You could say could have, not should have. And Auburn, like, and I know I kind of was joking, but like even though you put Auburn in that situation, they still won the game, and that's like good for them because a lot of teams crumble when you're number one in the country, losing to one of the worst teams in the fucking country.
Yeah, and no Zeb Jasper, right? They didn't have their starting
Right.
point guard yesterday. So, yeah, you were a little worried that you played Georgia and Missouri to like the last second of the game.
Still wins on the
But
road.
they're wins. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Still wins, but it is a little concerning because they're going to be a 1 seed and like they're going to play
That like 8-9 game
junior
on a
teams.
Saturday.
Yeah, so it's like those type of teams. But hey, they still won. Like you got to give them credit where they almost lost to Georgia, but it's at Georgia, and I'm not saying it should have been close, but since it was, they still won. But Bruce Pearl was like, you could see in his face how mad he was at the time. So, and my hate, you heard my hate in the beginning of the show, but I'm gonna go. I hate being a Duke fan. It's brutal. There's nothing good that comes out of it unless you win a championship. We win by 30 yesterday. People are still mad at me about being happy. Like, oh, you beat a joke team. Who cares? It's like, you know what? And I tweeted Duke UNC is the best rivalry in sports. People lost their mind. And I knew what I was doing because
You're trying to
knew,
rattle up Alabama and Auburn.
yeah, Alabama, Auburn, people were going nuts. And they're like, oh, aren't you a Yankees fan? Yankees, Red Sox? Hey.
College rivalries are always better.
What?
College rivalries are always way better than the
And
pro.
I'm a Yankees fan. And Jake, you're a Yankees fan, right?
Yeah.
Yankees, Red Sox has lost its luster in the past couple years, 1,000%.
Yeah,
It's
we
also
had
hard when you
Tyler
play
Austin charged the mound like 3 years ago, but that
Yeah,
was
and they play
pretty much
all
it.
the time.
18
Like,
times. I
college-
swear, they play 18 times a year, and it feels like they play 100.
Exactly. College, you're playing each other twice, and it's like you line it up on your schedule every time. Like Duke UNC, you see the numbers. Like they do that thing like 50 wins, and Duke has like 30 more points. Obviously,
Right.
they have more now, but I don't know.
Marty,
That's-
I can relate as someone who's a fan of a team with more wins, more Final Fours, more championships than you. I can relate.
There was no reason for that because I was gonna say, Reeks, I was gonna say when Kentucky wins yesterday.
Yeah,
Not many tweets were going your way, right?
business decision. It's a business. It's a business trip. I mean,
But when you lose, I got Jake starting doing spaces. I got DM saying "fuck you."
yeah. Kentucky
I'm like,
loses to
Jesus
Auburn.
Christ.
Kentucky loses the number one team in the country, and I got people be like, "Your team's awful." It's like
Yeah.
they lost it to what is going on here? Like, we're not going undefeated. We've been down that road. It's just, yeah, it is tough
Anything
being
for
a fan.
both of your teams winning it all is going to be annoying for you.
Yeah, and like, think about like how great these programs are. They've combined for 13 national championships in the history of the game.
Right.
We're typically not happy. It's not like good things go our way in March a lot.
No, not at all.
Yeah. All right, Riggs, you want to go?
Yeah, so I love Jordair Jet, St. Louis legend,
Yes.
getting inducted into the St. Louis Hall of Fame yesterday and getting ejected from the game that he was inducted into the Hall of Fame at. Playing
Right.
Dayton, gets into it with a Dayton player and Anthony Grant. The Arch Barron Cup apparently is just full of hatred. I saw a lot of St. Louis and Dayton fans like yelling at each other. They were my mentions yelling out where I was just like, I'm just laughing at Jordan Jet getting ejected from this game. I think it's funny.
The Billiken is the scariest looking mascot.
Ooh, that's a good debate. I think it might be the Demon Deacon. But the Billiken's up
It's
there.
pretty scary.
The Billiken's a weird thing to look at.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So I love that. I hate I'm trying to think of how to best describe it. I hate TV schedules. Can we stop putting games 2 hours apart? Because games never end in 2 hours, and then I got to flip to another channel to try to find the game I want to watch. Yesterday, ESPN had 12, 2, 4, 6, 8 o'clock games. None started on time. You had to go to like ESPN News for every other game.
Every year I can't find ESPN News. Every time. I never know the channel.
And then you got to worry about like when you flip back to that TV on that channel, just put in can we just stagger games? Can we start them like 2 hours and 15 minutes apart? Like,
there's
who cares?
also simply too many ESPN channels.
Yeah, can we rename stuff?
ESPN Plus, ESPN U, ESPN News, ESPN Deportes. It's like, Jesus
Classic.
Christ, give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just rename them?
Well, the thing is, Duke UNC is labeled at 6 o'clock and then tips at 6:15.
6:25. Yeah.
So just make it a 6:15 game then.
Right, and then start Kentucky Alabama at 8:30.
Right.
Like, what are we missing out on? A replay of a game in the middle of the night? Like, who cares if a West Coast game starts at 11:30 instead of 11?
Also, if a game is like it's in its hands, like 20 points, there's 4 minutes left, switch that to ESPN News and bring the actual game back.
Right. Like that's how it should be. If the game's over.
But then I also know that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna have like minus 18. And
or like the over sweating out.
Yeah,
they'll complain.
Would be pissed off.
Right. But like, I would much rather that. Like, let me find my game finishing on the other channel.
Yeah,
and start what should be a good game.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
totally
channel
fair.
I'm already on. Yeah, so it bothers every year. It bothers me. Like, I don't understand how we're this late in like development and still can't start games on time.
Yeah, March Madness does it well because the teams have to wait for to wait for the court to be available. All right, my love is coaches getting animated. I don't remember a day where so many coaches with notable names got teed up yesterday. Frank Martin was going ballistic against Tennessee. Tom Izzo got teed up at the rack. Dan Hurley got his first technical of the season. Scott Drew was crazy, and we saw the Anthony Grant thing with Jordy Archette.
Yep.
I mean, those guys were losing it.
Cal was close to a technical last night.
Very close.
I'm sure. I think Bobby Hurley probably was close to a technical because he's always close to one. I love it. Watching coaches like rip their jacket off and then start to go at a ref is you can like when you see the build up, it makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. And then my hate, Marty, you've been asking me to go at a single person for my hate.
Oh.
Whoa.
The wait is over. I hate Pete Davidson. This guy strolls into the Carrier Dome 3 years after trashing the city, puts on a Syracuse hat. He's like, "Oh, what's up, Syracuse? I'm back."
He got booed to high heavens.
Yeah. I love him.
No.
He was playing with balloons yesterday, and also he got paid to go. Of course he's going to go.
No, I know. But seriously, like, I don't know. Like, he trashes the city and then comes back. I know he was a guest of Adam Whitespin sitting courtside, but I don't know.
I hope Jake gets into it now with all like Kardashian fans. Like, I hope Jake's mentions just get flooded.
I'm a Pete Davidson stan too. I fucking love that guy because any guy that looks like him that gets the girls he does, good for him.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what. I love that Jake said he hated somebody. I love that Jake said he hated somebody.
Yeah, I do too. I'm happy about it. Also, I understand. I say I hate a lot of cities and like I hate a lot of teams, and I go to their stadiums and I get treated exactly how I should.
Yeah. So he trashes them and gets booed as he should.
When I went to a White Sox game, dude,
it
was brutal.
Not a great place to make enemies.
No, they're not nice people.
Yeah.
No.
But Syracuse 92-69 over Louisville, 3 in a row. Undefeated when either Giannis or Pete Davidson are in the building. So keep bringing them back. So that's love hate. So now let's wrap up the show with beating the buzzer. But remember, we're recording Sunday morning. Let's make our futuristic predictions for Sunday. Top game according to KenPom, Marty. Loyola at Missouri State.
God damn it. Why you gotta do this to me?
The best is the top two games today. Loyola,
it's a
Missouri
revenge
State.
game.
Wyoming, Fresno State. You pick which one you want to talk about.
Yeah. Wyoming, meanwhile, I was going to lead off beating the buzzer with them, but they had 2 court storms this week. They beat Boise State. They ended their winning streak. They're a sleeper team overall. They can win the Mountain West. That's a dangerous 10 or 11 seed.
Yeah, they could even sneak up to that 8-9 game, which we talked about. That's the sort of team where you're with Auburn, winning close games against Georgia and Missouri. You're like, all right, what happens in a Saturday afternoon in March?
Yeah.
Futuristic Martin right here. Cincinnati beats Houston.
Wow. Okay.
At Cincinnati.
Book it.
6 o'clock game.
Houston's
Maryland,
due to
Ohio
lose at
State.
some point.
Is Sasser confirmed out for the year?
I think so.
Damn.
Him and Mark.
That's tough. I mean, they're going to keep winning these games because of the AAC, but
that's how bad the AAC is. They got the 2 best players out,
and they're still smoking teams.
They almost beat East Carolina by 50.
That's crazy.
They've played 1 single-digit game since they lost to Alabama.
Yeah, to Tulsa. Frank Haith, big guy on this podcast. Just how he's still a thing.
2. They played Temple to 5. That's it. Temple and Tulsa.
Do you understand how Frank Haith is still a thing?
No.
He's a legend.
No.
Legend.
He's the Jeff Fisher of college basketball. The dude just goes 500 every single year.
Since 2005, he's been a head coach. Started at Miami, 3 years at Mizzou, and then Tulsa. He's won 1 tournament game since 2005. He's had a coaching job every year.
I don't understand.
He's made 4 tournaments since 2005. Round 2 in 08, round 1 in 12 and 13. They lost to Norfolk State, and then round 0 in 2016 was the first 4.
I know expectations are low at Tulsa, but he's been there forever now.
Yeah. They're 7 and 14. He's been there since 2015. He's made 1 tournament. So good for him. He's still around. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No,
I don't.
Not at all. They won 1 game since December 16th. All right. Beating the buzzer time. It's been a great show. Hopefully we'll have a guest back on Thursday. And Rico coming back soon. We don't know exactly when, but soon. So keep an eye on that as well. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I think BYU stinks. They got smoked by San Francisco on Thursday. And then Gonzaga. I know Gonzaga's Gonzaga, but they almost won this game. Speaking of winning by 50, this one was pretty close to that too.
Bro, BYU ain't making the tournament.
They might not.
No, right now you put them in?
They're probably a 10 or 11 seed right now.
They do have wins at hold. Semi-away Oregon at least helps.
This is how such a joke BYU, the fucking conference is. They got LMU, Pepperdine, St. Mary's, and LMU again.
I think they'll still get 3 tournament teams in at least. We said 2.5 at the beginning of the season. I still think San Francisco and St. Mary's get in.
So heading into yesterday's game, the consensus on BYU was the top 9 seed.
Yeah. So now they're probably a 10.
So yeah, I think so. You said 2.5 was the line of WCC teams.
Marty didn't think 3 teams were getting in.
So you have San Francisco as a 10 seed, BYU as a 9 seed, Gonzaga as a 1, St. Mary's as a 7. That was heading into the week.
Well, Gonzaga doesn't count.
What? You're just moving the goalpost now.
Gonzaga, I meant Gonzaga doesn't count.
So that means now Duke is a 0 bid league, or ACC is a 0 bid league.
ACC is a 0 bid league.
Nah.
Yeah. But anyways, BYU, their next 3 games, I know you mentioned Loyola and Pepperdine and St. Mary's. Those are all on the road. So yikes.
Yeah, if they lose 1, then you're really worried about them falling out.
Will they lose 4 in a row?
Yeah, they lost 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Yeah, brutal.
That's tough.
The Pacific loss is a dagger.
Yeah, you can't lose the Pacific.
Really hurt.
But no, Pacific has USC, remember, on Tuesday. Random game in February.
Man, maybe Pacific goes out and proves a point as the 280th best team.
Yeah, you never know. But then Gonzaga, Chet had 20 and 17 and 6 assists. So
he's so good.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of Gonzaga is they can hide him when he's figuring out the game because they have Timmy and Nebhard and everyone else. And then it's come March, you're oh shit, they have a top 3 pick. That's a freaking nature.
Jake asked, Jake asked Gonzaga to come on the podcast for Timmy to come on. And they're very funny about it. They're like, what'd they say?
Their SID was like, I'll ask Drew Timmy if he would like to come on, despite all the trash Marty's talks, with links to Marty's tweets about it. The WCC sucking.
Yo, he linked my tweets.
Also, haven't heard from them in like 2 weeks, so that might mean a no.
Hey, I will gladly, if he's listening, I would gladly have Timmy on. I would compliment him, but also speak my mind about how I don't like him.
We're gonna see a string of tweets from Marty just talk about how the WCC is awesome and should have been like 5 bits instead of 4.
Yeah, Pacific can beat any team on any given night. Yeah. Anyways, that's the WCC. Florida State, I think they might be done too. Wake Forest beats them 68-60. I know Malik Osborne, their best player, has been hurt. They have not won since then. I think they're in big trouble.
Although Florida State almost was my love. The walk-on nickname, the Weatherman, goes out and gets a double-double. Unbelievable nickname. Like, that's just an unbelievable nickname. Obviously, it's very much just based on what he wants to do. But, yeah, Florida State's dead. Like, it is crazy because Florida State's been so consistent that you just kind of start putting them like, yeah, they're going to be a top 25 team all year.
They were 13-5 and 6-2 in the conference. Then Malik Osborne went down. Yep. When you lose your best player, like, there's nothing you can do. It's just bad luck.
Yep.
It's bad luck. Oklahoma might be dead too. Oklahoma State wins by 9. Sooners have lost 7 out of 8, and they have Texas Tech and Kansas next.
They're losing. They're not winning that game.
Yeah, the bubble's getting softer. A lot of these teams can sneak in. That's why I feel good about Syracuse suddenly, because no one's really earning their way in. Anyone can get hot. Texas
Oklahoma's 3-7 in the conference.
Yeah, and then they have Texas Tech, Kansas, Texas, Iowa State, Texas Tech are their next 5.
Over under 1.5 wins.
Of those 5,
yeah.
I mean, they need 2 to have a chance. So if that's under, they're dead.
I don't think they get 2.
Yeah.
I think they beat like Iowa State.
Yeah. So Porter Moser, I mean, in the long run, they'll be fine. He's a great coach. He'll do good things there, but year 1 might not be as successful as we thought. We mentioned Frank Martin getting angry. Tennessee finally wins a road game. They smoke South Carolina. Doesn't really do much for me, though, but a little bit step in the right direction. But, yeah.
I mean, sure. Yeah. But that was I can't believe that was the CBS game at 1 o'clock. Like, what are we doing marqueeing South Carolina?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's crazy. Iowa State quickly falling down too. Texas beats them 63-41. The Cyclones are 3-7 in the Big 12.
I'll tell you what, I walked away from that as we said it on the last podcast that we thought Texas was going to beat the shit out of Iowa State as like the bounce back.
Yeah.
The fact they actually did it has me coming around on Texas a little bit again.
Riggs, I'm such a sucker for Texas. I'm so back on them.
It's like, like they still have a ton of flaws, but the fact that they were able to get back home, first game after Texas Tech, and just be like, nope, we're going to beat the hell out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a sign of a good team. I can convince myself into this.
Also, aside from the Texas Tech game on Tuesday, so put that aside, they've won the 4 games in a row. Besides that, they've given up 51-50, 51-41.
Yeah, it's like Chris Beard can still coach defense.
Yeah, that's insane defense. And then elsewhere in the Big 12, Texas Tech beats West Virginia by 7, so no hangover for the Red Raiders. That was a potential hangover spot. Yeah. No Taz Sherman, though, for West Virginia. And again, they've lost, 7 in a row, so.
But again, like we talk about signs of good teams, the fact that you're able to bounce, like,
right,
perfect letdown spot,
emotional win.
Yeah, and you can still win comfortably.
Yeah. An upset in the Big East. DePaul goes on the road and beats number 1 Xavier by 4.
Bad loss. And I saw Xavier, obviously, like, I follow a lot of Xavier people. I saw Xavier fans turning on the media, blaming Xavier beat writers for the loss because they don't challenge Travis Steele with hard questions. It's like, yeah, that's the reason why, not losing to DePaul. Like, did you watch the game? Because there was
you don't lose to DePaul at home, and then nothing matters. Like,
what's his name? Kavasier McCauley just was wide open on every single possession.
Hey, DePaul's got some wins, boys.
Yeah, but they're 2-9 in the conference.
They do though. Like they're one of those teams. Like I could see Georgetown won the Big East tournament last year. I could see DePaul winning a game. I guess technically 2 games. They'll win the what do they have? Do they do 10-11 or 7-11?
Hey, they got wins against Louisville, Rutgers. Yeah, that's it.
Rutgers tournament team. Rutgers.
Yeah.
Illinois, Chicago, different from Loyola, Chicago. That's kind of confusing. The Flames, I believe.
Yeah.
That's probably
They beat.
I only lost to Xavier by 1 at home at Xavier too.
And they blew that game.
Yeah.
At their home game. They beat Seton Hall. They're.
So that's the Big East. We mentioned Rutgers. We mentioned Michigan. Florida. Florida gets back. Colin Castleton beats Ole Miss in overtime. Look out for them. A little bias here, but they were good. They were very much a safe tournament team without him. They went 4-2 without him, or with him, I should say. They can go on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, favorable schedule down the stretch here too. Georgia, at Kentucky, at A&M, home to Auburn, home to Arkansas, at Georgia, at Vandy, home to Kentucky. They could easily win, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games left. They could easily go like 6-2.
And then they'll be in. So
they're a frustrating team.
Mike White's a frustrating coach.
Yeah, I know a lot of Gator fans aren't happy with him, but Colin Castleton's back. That's huge. 17 points for him, and their tournament hopes are back alive with him in the lineup. I think we screwed Jim Larinaga in Miami because they had a tough week. They lost to Virginia by 13, back-to-back losses for the first time this season. I think we're to blame.
Yeah, I agree too.
Send the kids to the beach, maybe.
Yes, maybe that'll change things up. So yeah, they're still in the tournament, right? But now they might not. I don't know.
The ACC is one bid league.
Yeah.
No, it's a hard league to play in.
Yeah, because you play a bunch of stink teams that play each other.
Virginia's probably going to make the tournament.
The ACC final is going to be like
if they win on Monday at Duke.
Duke's going to be favored by double digits in the ACC tournament championship game.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who they play.
I just want them to lose.
Right. All right. Quickly here. Wisconsin 51, Penn State 49. Yuck. 18-13 at halftime.
Wisconsin's fucking who they are, man. They're not good.
They were never the top 10 team. They were always they were better than what everyone thought coming into the year, but
I can't be hypocritical. They won.
Right.
They won.
It's just fair to say like they're a top 30 team instead of a top 10 team.
They had to win that game. They did it, so good for them, but they're still the same in my mind.
Right. 18-13 at halftime is a ridiculous score.
Bad.
And then a couple SEC notes before we wrap. Vanderbilt 75, number 25, LSU 66. 6 out of 7 losses for LSU. I don't know about them.
I think they're gonna get in, right? Like they're gonna make the tournament, but they need to win a game sometime here soon.
That's another team. They're still 16 on KenPom.
Because they have a bunch of okay wins. They were blowing people out early.
Yeah, and Will Wade's a great guy. I don't know.
Right, they beat Belmont by 30. They beat Liberty by 20. They beat Ohio by 15. They beat Wake by 15.
Yeah, those are all those could be tournament teams. I know they're not sexy names, but
they beat Tennessee by 12. So they have these double-digit wins, but they need to win, and they should. They do have A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, South Carolina the next 4 games.
Right, and then lastly, we'll leave it off on this because it could set up a potential guest for our next show. Arkansas 63, Mississippi State 55, 8 in a row for the Must Bus. I think if he wins, it is. Yeah. I think if they beat Auburn at home at Walton Arena, game of the year in Fayetteville, we got to have Coach Muss on Wednesday.
1,000%. Arkansas is a tournament team right now, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is great because they did not look like it at the new year.
No.
I think if Muss comes on, you got to do the podcast wearing a sling too. In honor of him.
Oh,
ever since he put the sling on, they haven't lost.
Yeah. We have to.
So, that's Tuesday, number 1 Auburn at Arkansas. I know Coach Muss talks about the hype of Bud Walton Arena, and it's great.
This
is the game.
That's a sneaky, awesome arena.
Yeah. Really cool. That's Tuesday. I'm excited. What else we got? We got Duke, Virginia Monday. Kansas, Texas Monday. Ooh, that's a good game. Then
That's a
you
good
guys will
Monday
really
game.
be back on Texas if they beat Kansas at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Auburn, Arkansas, Illinois, Purdue.
Utah State,
Wisconsin,
Wyoming.
Michigan State's gonna be ugly.
Marquette,
Marquette,
UConn. That's gonna be an interesting one.
And then Wednesday's actually not that
Xavier
good.
Seton Hall. Xavier Seton Hall is okay.
Yeah, but for a Wednesday slate, that's actually not
Yeah, there's
that good of a
nothing.
slate.
Thursday, you have Purdue, Michigan, Arizona, Washington State.
Yeah.
Friday, UConn, Xavier. And then Saturday's gonna be a late night. You got it's not a great slate, but UCLA, USC at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Texas, Baylor at noon. Man, Texas is what, Kansas and Baylor this week?
Yeah.
God damn it, Marty. We're gonna be.
Yep.
If they win, it's gonna be the worst. I'm almost cheering against them now.
I think I'm gonna put us future on them.
Would love that.
I mean, now's the best time to do it because if they win one of these games, the value will plummet.
No, yeah, it's perfect right now to do it.
Yeah, but I'm excited for Auburn, Arkansas. Selfishly for the podcast, I'm rooting for Arkansas in this game because then we can hopefully have Coach Muss on after their biggest win of the year.
Yeah, and he'll be fucking fired up to do it too.
Yeah. So that's our show. Thanks again to Riggs for hopping on. Rico will come back soon. Also, remember to register for the 3-on-3 tournament, barstoolsports.com/events. Do it before it's too late. The tournament's in about 5 weeks. So thanks
Texas
again.
Plus 5,000.
Plus 5,000.
It's a great time to do it.
If they sweep this week, that'll be cut in half, right?
If they sweep this week, they'll be down
like back to Jersey.
It's perfect time to do it.
All right. Have a great week, everyone. And we'll see you on Thursday.